My mom always used to tell me that when you go to school, a good man will marry you. When you're educated, a good man will marry you. So it was always at the back of my head singing that just get a good education, a good man will come for you. I've had different phases of life, aspiring to be a pharmacist. The first rule of life is that my mom passed. It was quite really traumatizing. I couldn't figure out what again I wanted to do with my life. So all of those dreams were shattered. So when I find people who lose a parent, I always say it's not just enough that they get them into another home. When a young child, a young girl especially, loses her mom, she's like a child who is in the market square and stripped of her clothes.
Okay, I want to start with thinking about your life when you were younger. We all grew up as kids and we have all these dreams. I want you to share with us, as a younger version of yourself, what life did you imagine you would be living?
I've had different phases of life, aspiring to be a pharmacist.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Because I've always had interest on things that has to do with medications. And I was thinking that be a pharmacist and one day be like Stella Okoli, have my own pharmaceutical firm. So the first rule of life is that my mom passed and that journey just went off the blues.
That was quite curveball.
Yeah, so it wasn't. I was quite, when I think back now, because I think it's only now, this is now 26 years after.
Wow.
So it's only now I think I'm healing from that trauma of losing my mom at that age. So it was quite really traumatizing. I couldn't figure out what again I wanted to do with my life. So all of those dreams were shattered. I was trying to find myself. So what was career about? It wasn't about career anymore.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Emily, we haven't even started and you brought me to tears already because I feel like we're already going deep, because that's your lived experience. I cannot imagine what that would have been like for a little girl. How old were you when your mom died?
I was just going to turn 18. She died in August and I was going to turn 18 in September. Oh. So it was quite a journey. I had just finished secondary school. My dreams then was to go to University of Jos. Of course, I ended up going to Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. I got into pharmacy. I wasn't doing well. And when I thought about what next I wanted to do, I just didn't want to study anything that had to do with biochemistry and anatomy or physiology. So I took the turn to go to geology.
Okay.
Yeah,
now, if we just go back to getting into pharmacy, which was your dream, and then finding that you were struggling with that, thinking back to what you said just a few seconds ago about realizing that you're just now starting to heal from the death of your mom. Do you think that that played a role, or was it that pharmacy was just not a good fit, or maybe the timing with everything that happened around your life at the time?
I wasn't encouraged. As a child, you're growing, you want to make your mom proud. Those aspirations and things that inspire you to want to be a better person and be great in life, and that person that would cheer you on to say you can do it. Yeah. Yours is just to go read. I is to provide, and that person just went out and never came back.
Wow.
So that was for me the end of that dream.
Look, every child needs their mother, and no matter how old you get,
absolutely.
What you've said now has actually, in an interesting way, given me an appreciation for my mom. My mom is the one person who always believed I could do anything I set my mind to.
Absolutely.
And I've shared with people that my mom, when I was 14 years old, was the first time she told me to write a book. And I'm like, Mom, get real.
And that's you've seen happen because someone she's sold that idea.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't think you could do it, you will see yourself finding yourself do what she has dreamt and spoke about. She spoke into existence.
Yeah. And I think another side of that was that she saw things in me that I didn't even realize existed.
That's the power of a mother.
Oh my gosh. And you lost that at such a young age.
Absolutely.
And I can totally respect and understand why. What's going to uni, you know?
What's it? I could remember times where it could just feel like it's just going to end. There wasn't anything to really be encouraged. And that also has helped me in my life journey. So when I find people who lose a parent, I always say it's not just enough that they get them into another home. It's not enough.
Like find relatives.
Yes,
to
it's
live
not
with.
enough. It's much more than that. So because you have to talk the children through, especially when they're children, you have to talk them through to understand the face of what is going on. It's not just sorry. I could remember when even I had aunties who would say, you didn't cut your hair. I didn't even realize that it was a big deal. I wasn't brought up in the village to know that these are cultural things that when you lose your mom, you should cut your hair. I didn't know. And somebody now sees you to talk to you, talk down on you, because it wasn't like they were kind with the word. It was like, did you not know that you lost your mom and you should cut your hair? So words like that actually take you back to the place of the person who protects you is no longer there. I have a post on my page on Instagram that says, when a young child, a young girl especially, loses her mom, she's like a child, a girl who is in the market square and stripped of her clothes.
At what point did you realize that whatever dreams you had changed? But
my uncle was very instrumental to shaping my thoughts, and he will always say, no matter what, go to school. And before then, my mom always used to tell me that when you go to school, a good man will marry you. When you're educated, a good man will marry you. So it was always behind at the back of my head singing that just get a good education, a good man will come for you.
because when I met you, you were big sister and mom to your younger brother.
Yeah.
And so you actually had to mother someone else, even though you were just a child yourself. You didn't really have the time to process everything because you were just like every mom, you were just go, go, go. I just need to show up for this person. And so you didn't even take the time to introspect to see what was going on in your internally.
I wouldn't even know. So even if I sat down to think about it, I wouldn't even realize, because what did I even know?
You didn't have the tools.
I didn't have the tools to know. I wasn't knowledgeable in that area. And the issue of mental health was not something that was talked more about. Nobody took you through a counseling, any kind of therapy,
counseling or anything.
Nothing. So nobody took you through that. It's just like, oh, life has happened, so you just stand up and you suck it up and move on. And my brother had a lot of it.
A lot of what?
Anger, the pain, the trauma, and he didn't even realize. There was a day I even sent him some video clip of something of, when they talk about the traits for you to know that you're going through this. And he said, what do you mean? I said, yes, you are. Because I understood so much that my brother that I know growing up was not longer the version of who I saw becoming a young man.
Wow.
He wouldn't talk to you. He would bottle. He was sucking everything up. So in his own is like he's sleeping. He wants to sleep most of the time. He's not talking. When you now say something to him, it will be what he wants to do and when he wants to do it, that he would do it.
Wow.
So then talking to him later, always telling him that, see, this thing is, we're suffering. We're going through this process. We're doing this. We need to talk about it. And of course, talking about it was there. Then showing up for people, showing up for him, making him know that I'm here. I will always want to be here. But most importantly, we have to have God in our lives, because that's the one man that will never leave you nor forsake you. So no matter what we have going on, no matter how right it is, we needed God on our side.
Yeah.
So, and that was it.
Wow. Oh, okay. This is so incredible. And I know that there are people who might be listening and thinking, oh my goodness, I went through something similar or a different version, but still kind of the same outcomes. And I didn't realize maybe I should look into it. And I want to encourage you, if you find yourself in that kind of space where you're wondering, am I dealing with grief? Are some of the issues that are showing up in my life due to trauma, childhood trauma? It could even be trauma you've suffered recently that's showing up in a way that you never could have imagined. Can I encourage you to seek help? It's actually a sign of strength to acknowledge that you need help, or that there's a problem in some area and you need to get help. Seek professional help. And of course, God is there. The Holy Spirit is there to help you as well. And one of the ways he does that is through people who are trained to support you through times like this. Because that means then that, you know, we can show up as better versions of ourselves, as healed versions of ourselves.
Yes.
And then we are setting ourselves up from success, especially as single people. Because singleness is such an opportune time to deal with those things. And I want to encourage you, if that's something that you need, to please seek it out and get that help.